If you're having trouble with the proximity sensor on your smartphone, especially after replacing the screen, there's a good possibility that we can fix that. And usually the proximity sensors don't get damaged. It's typically going to be the window in front of them that has a problem. So what we're going to do today is kind of makeshift our own proximity sensor cushion using some electrician's tape and a soldering iron. If you take a look at the video here, I've got the lens from a Galaxy S3, and you can see up here at the top, these are really easy to identify on this particular phone. We have two kind of bluish colored windows that allow light or proximity to be sensed by the piece that sits behind the lens. So you can see when I put it up to a piece of behind a light, in front of light, it's a lot easier to see. Over here we have an E960 LG a Nexus 4, and again in the top left hand corner you can see the two windows that are separated. And over here I've got a Galaxy S4, again same kind of design on just about any smartphone with the exception of the iPhone 5, which I'll show you in a second. Here on the iPhone 4 you'll see at the very top just above the earpiece there's a little bluish tinted window there, and again you can see it separated into two different sections, and it's important that that separation is distinct. And what happens a lot of times is either you're missing the cushion or it's just not colored properly. Here on the 5 we actually have a round piece with a line going right down the center. It's a little difficult to see because it's so small, but if this gets out of adjustment your phone will not shut off, the screen won't shut off while you're using it, and you'll end up dialing people, hanging up on them, doing all kinds of funny stuff. So what we're going to do here is just cut a piece of electrician's tape and poke a couple of holes through it with a soldering iron. It's going to take you a little bit of practice. You're going to want to have a surface, of course, that will not get burned, because we are going to actually touch this with the hot iron. And it doesn't have to be super hot, it just has to be a very small tip so that we can create this, because it's there isn't a lot of room to work on the inside here. And you'll see what I'm doing is I'm going to cut a strip of tape. That one kind of came off in a triangle shape. I want to get a flat strip of tape here and make it just about the same size as the piece inside of the lens where the windows for the sensor are located. So if you take a look here at the back, what we want to do is just cover up that little black oval at the top. So we want to make sure that the strip of tape that we made is the right width and the right height pretty much to just go over the top of that. So I'm going to cut this down with the razor blade. It's a little bit easier to work with sticky stuff when you're cutting with the razor blade rather than scissors, because they do tend to get gummed up. So once we have our little piece here, again what we want to do is just make a couple of very small holes roughly the same size as the windows in the lens itself, and we want them to be in about the same location, because what these are going to do is just go right behind that window, and it's going to help separate the light or the motion that's being sensed between those two. And the important thing is that we have a distinct separation between the two windows. If you don't, your sensor is not going to work. And for the most part, if you bought a lens online, it's going to be aftermarket. Manufacturers don't sell these to the public. So unless you took it off of another phone, it's going to be probably a very good imitation, but it's never going to be exactly like the original. And even in the beginning, Apple had a lot of problems with this on the white lenses for their iPhones. So that was one of the reasons that it took so long for them to be released. They were having all sorts of sensor issues, and they figured out the way to fix it is to put something very similar to this behind the lens, just to make sure the light is separated properly. So again, if you look online, you can find these. They're very cheap, and they are model specific. You can buy one for your phone, but for the most part, you can actually make one that will work, and that should solve your problems. If you found the video helpful, hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter or Facebook. Post your questions in the comments section below or visit gocellphonerepair.com/forum. Thanks for watching.